Let's get down to business and defeat our commander opponents. We're building an optimized bracket 4 deck, so let's push it to the max. But this is definitely not CEDH. Hi, I'm Warren with Crackerjack Games, and if you like deck techs, Magic the Gathering, and good vibes, be sure to like and subscribe. So how powerful can we make Baylen the Haymaker? There is a lot going on with this card. The first time I saw it, it really reminded me of Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca. That merfolk leader could do so many things with all its tokens. Baylen's no different, and probably better. Tap 2 tokens, make a mana. Tap 3 tokens, draw a card. Tap 4 tokens, pump them up, and give them trample. The key to a great commander is card advantage, or mana in the command zone, or some sort of combo enabler. Baylen has the first 2 in spades, and provided we can make some tokens, we're going to be able to use that over and over again. So first, let's talk about some of the best token payoffs we have in Commander. From Bloomburrow Commander, we've got Agate Instigator. You can offspring it, and whenever another creature you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So obviously having 2 copies of this is amazing. Gain a shock everyone each time a creature enters is just where we want to be. The OG version of that, of course, is Purphoros, God of the Forge. Same kind of idea, except whenever a creature enters, it just deals 2 damage to each opponent. We have a third version of that as well in Impact Tremors. Creature enters, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Redundancy is great when you're playing optimized commander. So we want ways to find these, and we want ways to make them happen consistently. And you might be thinking, well, how are we going to put a ton of creatures onto the battlefield? Well, in building this deck, 28 of the slots are already taken. This is a Heir Apparent deck. That's right, we're playing 28 Heir Apparents. When this creature enters, create a number of 1/1 White Rabbit creature tokens equal to the number of other creatures you control named Heir Apparent. So this just starts pumping out tokens as you find them and make them. Of course, your deck can have any number of these. Those tokens are really powerful, of course, because they turn into card draw and more mana to keep going with Baylen. And sure, we could probably go mono white with this deck, but having the green and red gives us those Impact Tremors effects, creature tutors, and a very, very robust ramp package. And we're not holding back. We're playing all the best green ramp we can. We've got Nature's Lore, put a forest onto the battlefield. We've got 3 visits, put a forest onto the battlefield. We've got arguably the most underappreciated ramp spell in the game, Open the Way. 6 mana, put 4 lands into play. And although this seems really subtle, it just sets you up for massive turn 5s and 6s and 7s. We're in white, we're playing Smothering Tithe. Even if we don't need to make a ton of treasures, we're gonna make a ton of treasures. And we wanna make sure that if our opponents sneeze or blink or cough, we also get to draw cards. So we're playing Trouble in Pairs. And we might as well add a 3rd game changer to the list with Enlightened Tutor. We can get those first 2 enchantments, or we can go get Purphoros, or we can go get probably the best spell in the deck, Thrumming Stone. This is the reason you play you can have any number of this card in your deck games. Thrumming Stone has Ripple 4. Whenever you cast a spell, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may cast spells with the same name. So 25 isn't enough Heir Apparents. 28 is probably good. And there's a real chance that with Agate Instigator or Purphoros on the battlefield, or both, when you play this and cast a Heir Apparent, you might just win the game. And that sounds like a really neat 2-card combo, or 29-card combo. I would say try and save this for as long as possible until you're ready to actually cast a Heir Apparent. Just letting this sit out on the battlefield and hoping it doesn't get destroyed is not a good idea. We have some powerful lands in the deck because, again, we're in green and it's easy to get them. We're playing Field of the Dead, and we're playing Glacial Chasm to make sure it's impossible to get through to us. We're making tokens, and they're all creatures, so we're going to make sure we'll get as much value out of them as we can by playing Drum Bellower. Now we're drawing tons of cards on each of our opponents' turns as well. We got some great alternate win cons in the deck, just in case someone has decided to play, I don't know, Glacial Chasm against you. We're going to play Altar of Dementia, and we're going to sacrifice all of our hairs to mill people out. Or we're tapping all of our hairs to make mana and draw cards with Baylen, so we might as well end our turn with Throw to the God Pharaoh on the battlefield. Each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. This is always one of my favorite passive-aggressive ways to win a game. Now, when you go for that big old turn where you get your Thrumming Stone out and you cast Heir Apparent, you also want to be able to attack with all those rabbits. So we're playing Mass Hysteria. Maybe it's just for the lulz, but I think it's worth it. And if we don't have that, Final Fortune will do the job for us too. We'll take an extra turn after this one. And the game's going to end whether we like it or not, but it's probably going to end in our favor. So the whole list for Baylen the Haymaker optimized is in my Mox field. You can check out my link in the comments. And I'd love to hear what deck you'd like to see and what power level you'd like to play at. Hope this helps.